So, welcome to the Business Innovators Podcast. My name is Aoife Roach, and I am the host of this podcast. So, the goal of this podcast and what we're always hoping to achieve is to really find the unsung heroes of business, those people who have really worked tirelessly behind the scenes to build their businesses. But today, I have a little bit of an exception to the rule on that. I have someone who has built a business which you would say behind the scenes in the trade industry, but now has become an absolute YouTube sensation. And he has made a transition from the trades to becoming a social media guru. So I want to welcome Roger Wakefield to the Business Innovators Podcast. Welcome, Roger.
Eva, thank you. It's good to be here.
It's amazing to have you. I've wanted to have you on the show for such a long time because you have such an interesting story.
It's a little different.
It's a little different, right? So let's go back and let's share a little bit with our audience about, you started out in the trades?
I started out plumbing while I was still in high school. I was 16 years old, so I probably lied on my job application. I quit school the middle of my junior year, started plumbing, loved it, and I ended up going back to high school. I graduated with my class. I was far enough ahead when I quit that I could do that. But right after I got out, I got back into plumbing. I loved it. It was just, it was fun. It was like, I played sports growing up. So it was like having a team that you have one goal and it's building a building or whatever it is. And it was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So, and just on that, do you see now people moving more into the trades now, or you think they're staying in the educational system?
I think that they're starting to move more into it. For the last 40 years, we've told students in high school, if you don't go to college, you're never going to amount to anything. And unfortunately, that's not been a good lesson. The cost of college has gone up 10 times since then. And we don't need to go to college to get a good job. There are plumbers that make millions of dollars every year, but not just plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians. You can make an amazing living just as a tradesman, or you can move up and start your own business, which is what I eventually did.
Tell me a little bit about that. So you left high school, you found the passion for plumbing, and then you decide, okay, did you go for work for somebody else in the interim?
I worked for other people for many, many years.
Right, okay.
I didn't start my own company until I was about 50 years old.
Really?
Yeah. I was running big jobs. I joined the union. I was building big major projects, multi-million-dollar projects. And I went to work for another company, and I'd been out at the airport for a while. They decided they wanted to get into residential, but I listened to the owner talk about they're going to tell people that they specialize in customer service and have the best trained plumbers. So I asked them how they were going to train them, and they're like, what do you mean? Well, you're telling people you got the best trained plumbers. And she said, well, we'll make sure everybody has a license. Well, that's required in the state of Texas anyway. And I asked about customer service, and she kind of rolled her eyes and says, we'll make sure people know to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, please and thank you. And I decided right then I'm in the wrong spot. Jim Collins calls it in the wrong bus, in the wrong seat, going the wrong direction. Nothing about it was right. I ended up leaving there and starting my own company.
So then tell me about that. Did you stay in the plumbing industry or did you move into because jumping into entrepreneurship, and this is one of the key things that we're talking about on this podcast, it's a big risk, right? It's a big risk in any area. So did you stay in an area that was familiar to you or did you move into something else?
Completely plumbing. I focused on plumbing. I'm also a certified HVAC technician, but I don't do it. So I decided that I was going to do plumbing. I'm going to run a plumbing company and grow it, and that's what we did. And it worked out pretty well.
Really? Okay. How long did you stay in that company for?
I stayed in that company for about 6 years, and I ended up selling it to an HVAC company down the street.
Okay, amazing. So now you went from employee to someone who's had an exit.
I had an exit, but I had to have an exit because part of growing my plumbing company was figuring out marketing.
Yeah.
When we lost a lot of money on marketing. So I decided I was going to learn social media.
Tell me a little bit about that. So now you're a plumber. You've had a series of issues with marketing companies and different problems like that. And then one day you decide, at what age, you mind me asking what age you decided?
At the age of 54,
Wow.
I walked into a social media marketing conference.
Yeah.
And at the age of 54, social media is Facebook.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And I go to this conference and I'm walking down the corridor, and there's a placard in front of a room that says, get in front of your customers using video. And I thought, wow, we could do that. We had shot a couple of videos for commercials or ads, really. And I walked in this room and sat down. I'm a front row person. I want to take notes. I want to be right in front of the speaker because I have ADD and I don't want to be watching everything in the room. And the guy comes out and the first thing he says is, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And I shut my notebook. I thought, this guy's stupid. He doesn't know anything. And I put my hand on the chair next to him and I turn around to get up and walk out, and I look back and there's people standing all along the back wall. The room is packed. So I turned back around and looked up at him in time to hear him say, and it's owned by Google, the largest search engine in the world.
Interesting. Yeah.
And immediately through my mind, I'm thinking, okay, wait, we spend a lot of money on Google. Why aren't we spending any money on YouTube? Not realizing that once I got good enough, Google would pay me to do YouTube.
Wow.
So it was a lot to learn.
Let's talk about like launching your YouTube channel and how that impacted not only positioning you as an expert authority in the plumbing industry, but also about building a personal brand. Because I think in this day and age, a lot of people totally underestimate how important it is to have a personal brand. I know that I have already transitioned into now helping people build personal brands with this social media marketing agency. And we're going to talk all about that because I really want to hear about that. Tell me from your perspective, what impact it had of you going on YouTube, showing up on video to build out that personal brand, and what was the outcome of that?
The outcome is anybody in the world really can open up their phone and search plumbing. And I'm the first thing they find.
You're the first person.
And to do this while you own a plumbing company is really good because, we were getting calls from around the country. Hey, can Roger come here and fix this?
Wow.
Can Roger come do this? It's like, we could, but you may not be able to afford it. But we literally were putting out such good information and value for people.
Exactly.
So they're like, hey, I want to talk to this guy. And our plumbing company just grew, and it grew so much that we had to make a decision because YouTube was growing even faster.
Yeah.
And it's like, do we keep doing plumbing or do we do social media? And that's why we ended up selling the plumbing company.
Because often people can think, I don't have time to do YouTube, or it's too difficult, or there's too much editing. And there's all these excuses that go around it. But what you're talking to me here about is the fact you had a video strategy that demonstrated so much value to your audience and positioned you as the expert authority that then led into your business becoming more valuable. So investing in your social media, it's not an expense. It is an investment because it's going to increase the intrinsic value of every asset that you have around you.
The ROI behind it blew my mind. Once we started making money, it got crazy. But every entrepreneur out there should have a YouTube channel. For the simple fact, it's the second largest search engine in the world. And what I talk to entrepreneurs about is imagine whatever niche you're in. If people could go to YouTube and search that niche and you're the first thing that comes up, what does that do for your business?
Yeah.
It makes it explode.
Look, there's a lot of noise in social media.
There is.
Right? We go on Instagram and Facebook and everyone's a millionaire, right?
Yes, and has a Lamborghini.
And has a Lamborghini
Yes.
and has all the Louis V and they're
You bet.
flying on their private jets all over the world and they're doing all of this. And I think that can sometimes give people false expectations of what's possible. But then there are marketing agencies who sell you the idea of the sizzle for that. I know now you've created your own social media marketing agency based on some of the experiences that you have had with trying to hire in marketing agencies. Talk to me a little bit about your experience of hiring marketing agencies, and what's prompted you to go, now, you know what, I'm actually just going to build my own?
Well, first of all, I don't have a Lambo.
Yeah.
I don't have a Louis. None of that. I drive a Chevy truck.
Yeah.
I wear jeans. This is me. The marketing agencies, I literally lost $47,000
Wow.
on marketing agencies. And when I talk to people about it, I say, just imagine driving on the road, throwing $47,000 out the window, and knowing that when you get to the office, your phone's not ringing. What's that going to do to your business? And it was scary. I mean, it was really scary. I had families depending on me to feed them. And one thing that I talk about is making your phone ring, because when the phone stopped ringing, it's an eye-opening moment. You're like, okay, what do we do? So having learned YouTube and seeing what it did, we started branching out into other social media platforms. We've probably got 2 million followers across all our platforms. But the neat thing about it is we're generating 10 million views a month. That makes everything happen.
Yeah.
But then I started looking at these marketing companies and started learning more about SEO and marketing and the right way to do things. But I also learned that most marketing companies, literally, if they're charging you 30 or 40 grand for a website, they've got somebody over in the Philippines or Pakistan that they're paying $500 to build that website for you.
Yeah.
And the communication is so hard to get everything right. So I've designed a system where I can still use VAs to do a lot of work, but there's project strategists that we talk to here that look at it on a regular basis and say, what do we have to do to make this part of it get better, this part of it get better, and this part of it get better? I've become a student of Google to learn what is it Google's looking for. EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. If you're not demonstrating that, not just on your website now, but on all your social platforms, because now Google's looking at everything. If you're not doing it all right, you're going to get left behind.
So I believe now, and I don't 100% know everything about Google Penguin, but we have looked at several different for different clients that we have, and there is something over 300 indicators that they look at across the board, which on those criteria. So people think, oh, I have a website and I'm just going to put some keywords on my SEO, but that's only like a small part of the picture. So let's talk about that a little bit more. What have you learned in the process about building the business and leveraging Google as a primary source of leads?
The neat thing about it, and you nailed it on the head, it's more than just your website now. And Google understands that. Me and you could build a website, Plastic Surgery Las Vegas,
for sure,
and make it rank, and we can bring people in all day long.
Yeah, but
just off a great website. But what Google's looking at now is, if you go look at your Google business profile, they want to know all your social platforms now. If you're talking about plastic surgery on your website, but your social platforms are talking about entrepreneurship and making money and advertising and marketing and all this, they're like, look, this is not really all about plastic surgery. That's what we're doing with plumbing. My YouTube is all about plumbing. My LinkedIn, my Facebook, my Instagram.
So you're consistent across the board.
Everywhere. And it's always value driven. Every post, every video, everything we do is, what can I give the one person watching that video?
Yeah.
And if people would focus on things like that, they can't help but grow.
I've been watching a couple of TikTok creators recently as well, and I really see that as a theme. The ones who are growing the most, there is a nugget in every single video that they deliver, and I've seen that in your content. Every single video is either teaching me something or showing me something or giving me some piece of value that I go, I'm actually better off that I watch that video. Where I think the challenge comes when the ego gets in the way and then people think that their social media channel is a highlight reel of how amazing they are, but they're not adding value to their audience. So talk to me about that.
No, you put it great, because when you go to any social media platform, you're there for you. You're not just there to watch me. You're not just there to watch anybody else. If people understood, if they make videos, not trying to tell you what I want to tell you, not trying to sell you anything, but to try to bring you value, that's what it's all about. And literally, social media is a value-driven entity. Okay? People go there for them. And even our websites, it doesn't need to be all about me. Let me tell you how wonderful I am. Let me tell you what I can do for you.
Exactly.
And when people understand that you can do great things for them, that they're connected to you, you're good.
So talk to me a little bit about, because I know we talked about the events and what you're planning on doing and this idea of the event center. So tell me, what is the plan with that? Because podcasting now we know is getting huge. This is why we're sitting here. People really want to get to know the people behind the scenes. But alongside podcasting, you have these events and creating this event center. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, we bought 10 acres right outside of Dallas.
Okay.
To build our marketing agency. We moved everything out there.
10 acres. You sure it was some
It's
small, nominal?
It's Texas. 10 acres isn't even big, okay? So I've got 10 acres out there. It had about a 4,000 square foot house on it.
Yeah.
That I've put 2 studios in.
Amazing.
We've put our marketing team in there. We've got my assistant, my manager, and we've still got other rooms that we're doing stuff in. The house was built in the 80s, so we're able to go in and demo plumbing and fix it and make videos.
Okay.
So everything in this property is like, look, we can rebuild or tear down anything we want to do. There's another house on it that had a renter in it, and he left. So my son's out there, so he's watching the property all the time. We've got a barn that we also put a studio in because it's like working in a shop. I'm a plumber, so we're out having fun. But right past that, we're going to build an event center. And it's going to be 2,500 square feet indoors, 2,500 square feet outdoors. They dropped off the bulldozer the other day because we're also building a swimming pond, a fishing pond, zip lines,
Oh, wow.
gun range. Welcome to Texas. Gun ranges, routes for the four-wheelers. We want a place where I can invite. We've got an app. So the people that are on our app that are really involved, every month I want to be able to invite people, hey, come to town. We're cooking barbecue. We're having fun. I want to build the most amazing trades community. And it's nationwide. I mean, plumbing is everywhere you go. But it's not just plumbing, it's electrical, HVAC, roofing, carpenters. I want to build the event center that I can host people at my place. Or do like we just talked about, travel around the country and throw a networking event and invite everybody. And
it can all funnel back into the event center.
Absolutely.
So there's a really important thing that you're touching on there that most people don't realize how important it is, and that is building a community.
It's the biggest thing there is.
Yeah, building a community and how much business is actually done because I always say business should be profitable and pleasurable, right? And I don't care how profitable it is. If it's not pleasurable for me, I'm not doing it.
It's not worth it.
And then it doesn't matter how pleasurable it is. If it's not profitable, I ain't doing it either.
Exactly. I like that.
So I'm very, very strict on that. But when you build out those groups and those communities, you put people into a setting, so like where they can actually relax and be themselves, and then allow them to organically. Sometimes you go to these networking events, and it's like there's business cards, and everyone is spraying them on you, and they're trying to tell you how they can help you. I don't really like that, right? I prefer when people are much more genuine and where the connection comes very, like our connection.
Absolutely.
Came super organically off it. And now we're always looking at how can we support each other? What can we do for each other? So building out that community in the event center. And you said you're going wider than plumber. You're going trades.
Absolutely. My podcast is called The Trade Talks.
Yeah.
And I've had Tommy Mello, one of the biggest garage door people in the world, growing a $2 billion a year business. I've had the biggest plumbing and electrical companies in Texas come in. And I have people reach out to me and say, I love listening to your podcast because I'm learning how to grow my business.
Yeah.
You talked about our relationship. I met you speaking at an event. And all you did is bring value. You talked about what you had built, what you were doing with it, and how it could help people. You never once said, hey, you need to buy this. You never once said, hey, give me your phone number. I'm going to start spamming you or anything at all. It's, look, this is what I do. This is how I do it. Y'all have a great day. And it's like, wait a minute, I want to talk to you. That, to me, is how to grow a business.
So I think one thing that you and I really have in common, we don't sell things unless we've actually done them. Because I'm doing a big bunch of stuff in government contracting right now, building out AIs for podcasts and doing all, and people are coming to me on the daily going, I want that. And I'm like, not yet. Until I have proven what we are doing, I'm not selling that solution. And I think when you come to something, because then you're so confident in your delivery, it's not even a sales pitch.
Exactly.
Because you're just telling them, this is what I did and this is how it worked. And if you'd like to learn more about it, I'm happy to teach you. And if you don't, good luck trying to figure it out. And I hope you do. But I'm only speaking from my experience of how I have made it work. And I think that's when we go back to marketing agencies and all of this hype around social media. Sometimes people are just, there's a pretense, right, around, and I don't want to be taken away from everyone. I get it, right, and I understand it. But when it comes to actually where there's a financial gain and taking money from people without having the results to actually back it up and show it, that's where it becomes a little bit questionable for me.
You know, and I love the way you put that, because there's so many coaches out there.
Yeah.
That will coach you in anything. I always tell people, look at their results.
The results.
Look at what they've done. And I've seen YouTube coaches with 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers. And you look at what they do, and it's like, man, once you start doing it, you can literally look at a channel. It's like, ooh, they need to fix this. They need to fix this. They need to do this. And I look at that and I think, I don't know who's paying them the kind of money they're asking for, but God, I feel sorry for them. Because there are no results. They don't know what they're doing. They may have read a book.
Yeah.
How good of a coach does that make
Put
them?
it into ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrote a funnel page.
They have a whole outline how to teach the course now.
Yeah, but that's the truth of it. So let's actually lean into that slightly. How do you see AI changing the way it's working for YouTube? And I know we've talked about this several times. What are you seeing in the AI space that they're talking about on YouTube that the audience, because I have a company, SuperDupe, that does the digital doubles.
If you're using AI to make videos, YouTube can make AI videos better than anybody. And I've said this for the last year or so. Jimmy, Mr. Beast, is the biggest YouTuber out there. They can literally make AI videos now that look real. You know that.
Yeah.
I show yours all the time. It's like, this is not her. I'm just telling you. But think about this. YouTube can literally invest in your AI, make videos that look as real as anybody else's, and do things wilder and crazier than Mr. Beast or anybody else. Mark Rober. I mean, he does great scientific type videos. But now they can, look, we're going to attach a squirrel to a rocket and fly it up in space and parachute down, and oh, by the way, no real squirrels were hurt during the filming of this video because it's not even a real squirrel. Yeah. But they can do wilder and crazier than you and I can do, than anybody can do. So why would they want to pay somebody that's just making AI videos? Yeah. Now, there are AI videos on YouTube. I've seen them. But it
has to be a hybrid, right? I think if you're going to do it, some people are trying to shortcut the process to only do AI videos, and I strongly recommend against that. You bet. AI video is good for communication for the days you don't want to film, that you need to show up on a social media, but it cannot be the whole foundation of your approach. Because there is a human connection, right? Even if it's at an unconscious level. So I think having a hybrid approach to the content is where I see it moving. Because otherwise, you're not going to really know what's real or what's not real anymore.
I think the AI, it depends on how you use it. We can use AI for data, for research, for ideation. There's so many different things that we can use AI for, but not to make the video. Can we alter videos? Can we do a lot of magic with them? Yes, we can. Thumbnails, I think thumbnails, AI are going to make thumbnails where they're just freaking phenomenal. But to use AI to make the whole video for you, YouTube can do that. So why would they want to pay you as a creator?
Yeah.
Why would they want to put your videos in front of people if they could make the same type video and put theirs in front of people?
So let's talk about this, because I know this can be a bit of a gray area. The monetization on YouTube. How long does it take to get monetized on YouTube, and what is the criteria that you've experienced or you've seen in actually being able to get your channel monetized?
For monetization, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watch time in a 12-month period.
Okay.
Which to a lot of people sounds like a lot. I probably get 4,000 hours 2 or 3 times a day now.
Yeah.
So once you literally start growing, it doesn't seem like that much. In the beginning, it is. I mean, in the beginning, I remember looking at it every day. Man, are we ever going to get there? Are we ever going to get there? And even now that I've got a second YouTube channel, it's the same thing. Watching it is it going to get there? How long does it take? We've monetized channels, and I've seen other people monetize channels in a month or less. It's taken me, well, the first one took probably 6 or 8 months. My podcast one probably took 9 or 10 months. But it starts growing then.
Yeah. So it's not
really
an
does.
instant gratification, right? This is something that you have to make a commitment to and be consistent, because we talk about this, and please give the audience some insights on how consistent you actually need to be on YouTube in order for them to actually see your channel as a channel that they want to push for monetization.
I think that you need to create a calendar and say, this is how often I want to put videos out. When I first started, I jumped in with both feet. That, like everything I do, you've seen me.
That's a good thing.
It is. I think it is. I jumped in. We literally started doing 3 videos a week. 1 month after I walked out of that conference.
So you're all in.
It's like, here's what we're going to do. I literally walked in the office Monday and said, we're changing things. Here's what we're doing. Somebody get on YouTube and figure out how to do YouTube. And you can do that. Literally, though, 3 videos a week.
Long form or short form?
Long form. The
Okay.
shorts weren't even on YouTube back
wow.
then.
And
TikTok wasn't even around back then.
So how long would your videos be?
Back then, they were 10 minutes because at 10 minutes, you got the extra mid-roll ad. So you could make more money. Now they're 8 minutes because that's where you get the extra mid-roll ad. They cut the time down. So that's what we try to do. But if I've got a video, if I can make a video in 6 minutes, and the only way to make that video is 8 minutes long is just put fluff in it that nobody wants, I won't do it. I'll go the 6-minute video.
So how do you get all of the content ideas? So for example, you're doing 3 videos. Are you just looking back at your experiences and, because you add humor into your videos as well, right? You're a character.
And I've never thought of myself as a character. I never think of myself as funny.
Yeah.
And
No, you are. Kudos to you.
It's
You're
funny
very, you know what you are? You're very entertaining.
I love people and I love to make people smile. Okay. So I think ideation, AI is great for that. I mean, literally you could go into ChatGPT right now and say, look, I need 50 videos about plumbing that, and I mean, man, when I talk to ChatGPT, we're best friends. We have great, deep conversations. But it's like, look, I want a video that could go viral. I want one that people are going to want to learn more about, or that I could possibly do a series on. We were doing that before ChatGPT came out.
Yeah.
It's like, look, let's come up with some buckets. Let's do a bucket for water heaters, a bucket for toilets, a bucket for faucets. And you literally start going through each one and say, okay, what could we do? And there's ways to use Google to help answer all those questions. PAA, people also ask. Figure it out. And once you figure out what they're asking, make that video.
So then you're looking at having content buckets, then drilling down into the content buckets to find out within those content buckets what people are asking for, and then looking at how to create the video with, like, because you need a good hook, then you need your value proposition in the middle of how, like, what's the objective of the video? It's like, what is the one thing that someone watching this video is going to be able to take away? What do you do for an ending on your videos? Do you have call to actions? Like, what? Because that's another part.
I'm not real big on that because
Yeah.
I've always thought call to actions were to sell something. And people used to laugh at me in the beginning. They're like, you don't ask for an email. You don't ask them to call you. You don't tell them to call you. It's just, you're just making a video bringing value. And And it's like, yeah, but did y'all notice that there's a banner over my head
Yeah.
that has my company name, it has my website, it has my phone number? They can get in touch with me if they want to.
Yeah. I think it's Alex Hermosi said, he said, answer in public, get asked in private. And it really is that. We're not putting the ask up front to deliver so much value that they look at your proposition and go, wow, if he's giving me all of this information for
What
free.
do I get if I pay for it?
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's a really solid strategy. So you're going to be speaking at the Rescon 360 conference
I am.
in November. So we're super excited to have you. What you're going to be talking about a little bit to give the audience a little bit of a taste of what you'd like to cover at the conference.
Well, like I said in the beginning, every entrepreneur should have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Every business. And I mean, even Mr. Beast has said that. He said, look, the people that don't, it's crazy. I want to teach entrepreneurs that this is a whole new top of funnel. This is a whole new way to introduce yourself to customers. People say people buy from people they know, like, and trust. People buy from people they know, love, trust, and they're connected to. I can use YouTube, I can use social media to connect to people. And if more entrepreneurs connected with their audience, with their community, with whatever it is, their sales are going to go up. And that's what it's all about.
How do you help people get out of their own way of being afraid to be in front of the camera? Because I'm guessing you get that objection all the time.
I do. And the funny thing is, I never thought growing up I'd be in front of a camera. The idea of it, if you'd have told me that 7 years ago, I'd have said, girl, you are nuts. That'll never happen. But it's really easy because when you talk about AI, you're very comfortable at it because you know it. You're the professional at it. You understand it. Most people that have a business can talk about their business and never bat an eye. At least if you're in business, you better be able to talk about it. People want to learn from you. They want to learn about your business. They want to learn what you do. My most popular video, how to fix a running toilet. Over 5 million views. I know, 5 million. And it's funny because the day we shot it, my stepson, my videographer at the time, literally edited it, put it up. He says, that's the worst video we've ever done. I said, okay, what was bad about it? He said, man, we rolled a toilet in front of a black curtain. You just stood there and talked and told people how to do everything. And step by step, he said, it's just not a good video. I said, okay, then we won't do any more like that.
And then it goes viral.
About a year later, all of a sudden it just starts going like this.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay.
But it's a real problem, right?
It is. It is.
Even I'm thinking
YouTube,
like last night, I'm thinking the water dripping.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm just watching
and
that
YouTube
video.
is a search engine. So
Yeah.
people are going in, how to fix a running toilet.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, the how-to. I think that's what I always go to YouTube for, how-to. First thing I type in, how-to, because I'm not a big YouTube person yet, right? But
You're gonna be.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. But the how-to is what I go there. So Roger, if people want to contact you, right, about anything to do with either this amazing event center that's going to be set up in Dallas, or like you speak all over the country, right?
I do.
see you on airplanes every other week, sometimes 2-3 times a week. You're always traveling, you're always going places. How can people connect with you? And also, I want to just give me a little brief overview about the course that you've created, because I know that because you've already got so many clients. I know you can't work with everyone, and you're really looking at people who are really looking to accelerate.
You bet.
So give me what people can get for the people who are not there yet, but know that they need to start something.
You know, people can connect with me. That they can find me at rogerwakefield.com. They can connect with me on LinkedIn. But if you're watching this right now, just pull out your phone and go to YouTube and search plumbing and see what happens. And then think about what would that do for you. Dr. Jeannie, one of the people in Bill's group, is going through my course right now. And we jumped in a live the other day to talk and do Q&A and stuff. And she says, Roger, this is intense. She said, you go deep. She said, I literally thought this is just going to be, hey, turn on YouTube, make an account, shoot a video and post it. And it's like, if I'm going to teach you how to do it, I want you to teach you the things that I've learned, because that is what has helped us grow. So that to me is what it's all about. I'm a plumber. I mean, at the end of the day, you've heard me walk out on stage. I'm Roger Wakefield. I'm just a plumber. And there's so much truth behind that because that is what I am. That's what I grew up wanting to be. And I say that's what I wanted to be after I got in plumbing. But the things that I've learned, how to grow a business without using a marketing company, how to do social media, how to build communities, how to talk to people, how to treat people. Social media makes it where anybody can be our best friend. And if we'll do more of that and build more relationships, bring more value to people, it's always going to pay off.
Excellent. Well, Roger, thank you so much for coming. You've delivered so much value, and I'm getting on your course. Absolutely. I'm taking the plunge. This is the first step of me actually getting out of my own way and actually going, you know what, we're really going to go all in on this, because there is so much opportunity there for branding, for awareness, and also to really make an impact, right? Which is what we're really all here to do, is we really want to impact and help people.
So the very first thing I'll tell you, in under 7 words, what is your YouTube channel going to be about? And if you're an entrepreneur out there, think about it. Because YouTube needs to know who to put your videos in front of. So one of the very first things I ask everybody is, in under 7 words, can you tell me what your YouTube channel is going to be about? Because every video you make from now on needs to be about that. Nothing else.
Absolute gold.
It is.
Thank you, Roger.